All right. Welcome. All right, that was Greg Papa with the call with Tim Ryan. The Niners winning it yesterday by a score of 23-20. We're having some technical difficulties. We're trying to get this thing cleared out of the way. The Niners winning it yesterday, 23-20 on that. Oh. Here we go. So we apologize for the little bit of the delay. We're having a little ways to. Here we go. So that was Greg Papa with the call yesterday. The Niners going to win 23-20. As the Niners escape with a win. Despite 3 late penalty calls and blowing that big lead again, the Niners, they bent, but they did not break. So the Niners go on to win yesterday, 23-20. And that audio call was from Greg Papa on the 49ers radio network, along with Tim Ryan with that call. So, the 49ers... Niners winning it, and not only the Niners with that victory, they get a little bit of bad news and good news. Well, the Cardinals continue to dominate. They dominated the Jets yesterday. They were winners all over the Jets yesterday, so the Niners remain 1 game back. The Cardinals did win yesterday. That's the bad news, but the good news is, in case you just watched it on Monday Night Football on both ABC and ESPN, the Rams lost to the Dolphins. They end up losing to the Rams down there at SoFi Stadium. So now with the victory, as we look at the NFC West standings, the Niners are now back at 500. They're now at 5-5. And the Rams with that loss, as I'm waiting for this to download, we apologize for the delay. So we're just looking at the standings. Sorry about that. We just try to keep an eye on the standings. So the Rams did lose to the Dolphins, so the Niners do gain ground. So as of week 10, looking up week 10, just waiting for this thing off my phone to download. It's taking some time to slow. So Niners getting some good news to the Niners, or for the Rams. Rams now dropped their record to 4-5. The Niners now have sole possession of second place in the NFC West with a 5-4 record, Arizona Cardinals are now 6-4. They have a 1-game lead over the 49ers, plus the tiebreaker and divisional record as well. So the Niners are only just 1 game back of Arizona for the top spot in the NFC West. In the NFC West. So if you guys are watching in on Niners Radio 49, the website is youtube.com, and we'll send you out to this. So it's youtube.com/@NinersRadio49, and please click the subscribe button. And please click the subscribe button to see all the content. So Niners are now only 1 game back in the NFC West, and of course they're enjoying this W today, yesterday's win. So we're going to coming up now. This is how we're going to begin the show tonight on Niners Radio, 49ers Live tonight, known as the Aftermath Victory Monday. The Aftermath, it's known as Victory Monday. Victory Monday with yours truly, Professor B. We're going to start off with Kyle Shanahan's Monday conference call, recap the game, talk about the game, and then after that, we'll do some Niners news, what's going on, and then we'll have in our 49 Niners Radio 49 flashback as we continue this series all year long, as we take a look back at the night of the celebrating the 40-year anniversary of the 1984 49ers Super Bowl season. Of course, they went 15-1. And this week, we'll take a look back at week number 11 when the 49ers traveled to Northern Ohio to take on the Cleveland Browns. This is an interconference matchup goes way back. These two teams both were 2 original charter members of we'll go back in that in a second, from that 1984 season. Then we'll take a look back we'll recap the Niners-Browns game from that week, and then we'll take a look of the 1984 NFL scoreboard. Then we'll have then we'll recap later on. We'll have a recap of week number, I believe, 12 from that season as well. So we got week 11 as well. So we're going to hope you guys are tuning in on Niners Radio 49. Professor B, as
we're going to hope you guys are tuning in on Niners Radio 49.
I hope you guys are joining in on our podcast on this Monday night. Great Monday night to be a 49er fan. You know, the Niners bouncing back, are now picking up the important win going the bye week. You don't fall in their bye week, and just a reminder: continue to support Niners Radio 49 and our main page, Satellite Digital Media. Our page is youtube.com/@NinersRadio49, and please click the subscribe button. Please click that subscribe button. Our goal is trying to get 1,000 subscribers. 1,000 subscribers is the goal. We're getting close towards 300 podcasts for this channel. So we're reaching out, trying to get people to, just keep on building this thing. So we still got a lot of work to go. And like I said, there's no breaks, no breaks. We keep on grinding, keeping on, keep on trucking. So let's get to our next segment on Niners Radio 49. It is Kyle Shanahan's press conference. This was from Monday down at the he has his Monday conference call. The audio feed is picked up from our good friends from 49ers Webzone. We're going to pick you up Kyle Shanahan's press conference. And just a reminder, coming up, the 49ers will be back in action. They'll take on the Seattle Seahawks on Sunday at Levi Stadium. Kickoff time will be at 1:05. It's a 1:05 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We'll be back out there taping my next show of 49ers Tailgate. And then coming up in 2 weeks from Sunday, yesterday to be exact, coming up on the 24th of November, we will be on location in Treasure Island at the Gold Bar Whiskey place at Treasure Island. We're going to be there doing the Niners and Packers. Be on location for that day. We might be doing some interactive game, maybe play it in-game live, play-by-play. But something exclusive we want to do some interactive as we continue to go out in the community and promote Niners Radio 49. And it's gonna be a fun thing. It's gonna be a fun day. When the Niners are on the road, that week we'll be over at the we'll be over there at the we'll be over at the Gold Bar Whiskey over at Treasure Island, over in the Bay Bridge in San Francisco, as Treasure Island is the halfway towards the middle part, leading towards Oakland. And we'll be over there, and then then on December 1st, just as the weekend concludes after the weekend of wrap around Thanksgiving holiday weekend, we'll be over. I believe we're going to be at the Keys Yard Pub, though, when the Niners take on the Buffalo Bills for Sunday Night Football. So we got a lot of action coming up in the next several weeks, though. It's going to be fun as the Niners making that stretch drive towards the NFL playoffs. So now we're going to go into our our conference call. We're going to take a little bit of a break, and Professor B here, Niners Radio 49. We'll be right back with you. Coming up is Kyle Shanahan's press conference, and his conference call is courtesy from our friends from 49ers Webzone. So we're going to share with you in just a moment, and we're going to take this time out.
All right, guys. All right, guys, injuries from the game. Renardo, just his toe, he'll be day-to-day here. Kittle had some hamstring irritation today, so we'll see how the week goes with him, see how he feels on Wednesday. And same thing with Mitch Wisnowski, with his back flared up a little, so we're going to evaluate some treatment options this week and see how he deals in these next couple of days. That's it from the game. Go ahead.
Kyle, did you feel the need to address with the players the situation that occurred after Jake's final missed field goal?
I didn't initially. After the game and stuff, I didn't think it was too big of a deal. But after getting home and seeing it all on SportsCenter and everything and all that stuff, I wanted to make sure I did and talk to the guys about it. Talk to a number of guys on the team, and we squashed it and we're good.
You're satisfied with where things stand now?
Oh yeah, totally. I think it was a little bit overreaction, and I don't think you never want Debo to throw a baby punch or anything on anybody on our own team. But Debo also wasn't saying anything bad to Jake like it sounded. He was meeting him on the field, telling him to lock in. The same thing I'll tell to an offensive player is just drop some balls or made some penalties or something. You never sit there and belittle anybody or try to embarrass anyone. You try to challenge guys that you believe in, and that's how we speak to each other and telling someone they need to focus and lock in because we know you can do this. And I like Pep's intentions on it. He's got his kickers back, but I think he kind of interpreted wrong what Debo was doing to him and overreacted a little bit. And Debo didn't like that and got him out of his face, and that's really about where it ended.
Kyle, do you have in-house fines for that kind of thing, or does this not rise to that level?
No, I fine people for breaking rules. This is just people being football players and dealing with stuff on the sidelines, and I didn't really chalk that up to a big deal at all.
Okay. Kyle, Nick Bosa said afterwards he was affected by his hip issue, and that that kind of affected his play. He still got a couple of late pressures and a sack. Did he come out of this game okay?
Yeah, he came out all right. I'm sure it's sore and stuff. But, anytime you miss most of the week of practice and everything, that's going to affect you. He battled hard throughout the game, and I thought he was real impressive there on those last two drives, the one getting the sack and a couple run plays that he did there inside the 10, where I thought he did a good job too.
What's the coaching point for Darrell Luter on that play? Is it just to be aware where the returner is at all times?
No, without a doubt. Something you got to talk about a lot because, everybody coaches gunners to push the jammers into the punt returner, especially on a high punt like that. And so something that you got to be aware of. You got to always get out of the way at the last second, or those guys will always try to drive you into the punter. It's your job to get out of the way. It's not the punter's job the punt returner to look at you.
Do you anticipate opening the windows for any players this week as far as off an injury list?
And I think we're going to get Conley back this week. We'll see on Kevin. I don't expect us to do it to Dre this week. So no new guys.
Kyle, at the start of the season, you mentioned sort of a desire to avoid having Christian take, have a ton of touches like he did last year. Does him being out affect that, or where do you sort of feel on that in terms of, you rode him pretty hard in his first game back?
I didn't think we rode him pretty hard, but no, I think we're good with it, and we'll see how this year goes. That was our first game with him. I think he had 19 touches, which I think is a little less than he had last year, but it was our first game back with him, and we didn't want him to go too many series in a row. We started taking him out. I think we did it in between two series in the first half, and once we only had one drive in the third quarter, and we got into that fourth quarter, we weren't taking him out on the fourth. So we'll see how the year goes with him.
Hey, Todd, what's any update on Charvarius and what do you expect timing-wise on his return?
I think there's a chance for him to come back this week. Just talking to him over the weekend. I haven't got a chance to talk to him today, so probably do that sooner than later and see where he's at, but I got no updates right now.
Kyle, when Feliciano was downgraded to out, did he have a setback, or is that just something you do when you're not going to play him?
No, that's just something you do when you're not going to play him.
Okay.
The addition of Nick McLeod today, is that kind of looking at special teams and needing an injection of a player who can help you in that area?
Sorry, what's that? You went out.
I'm sorry. You guys added Nick McLeod, a cornerback, to the practice squad today. Is that? Do you anticipate him making an immediate contribution on special teams?
No, I don't think it was like that. I know probably getting a vet with Gippen here and releasing Amos and stuff, just how it chalks it up, and just getting another guy in here for depth. Chase Lucas is also helps out a lot on our scout team. He's had a calf here, so he wasn't able to practice last week. Won't be able to this week either.
Kyle, if you remove the last names on the jerseys, the last two games, it seems like Devondre Campbell's been one of you guys' best defenders. Did something click? Did it take a couple months for him to get used to your style of football? How would you describe what you've seen from Campbell in the past couple of weeks?
Yeah, I think you're accurate on that. I think versus Dallas, I thought Dallas was his best game of the year, and I thought this game was maybe even better. So Devondre's a very good player. He's done it. He did it in Atlanta. He did it in Arizona. He's done it in Green Bay. And he's done some real good things here. It's just getting used to our scheme, and he gets better and better each week. But on these last two games have been his best, and he's getting more confidence playing in it. Just our style and kind of how we do things. Just everything's a little bit different, and playing next to all new guys and everything. But I couldn't be more happy with him and his journey throughout this year.
After a day to think about Jake Moody's performance, any thread to his tough day? How do you view it?
It was, it wasn't the easiest place to kick in. The wind was weird, especially the direction that he missed the stuff. It was different, but it was a few big kicks, and came back and hit his first game winner on a walk-off. So thought he finished it well, and move on to next week with it.
Got two more guys.
Kyle, how did you feel about the play of the back end of the secondary? I mean, the pass rush wasn't always there, but they seemed to hold up pretty well, particularly the rookies, Green and Mustafa.
Yeah, I thought they did a real good job. They eliminated some big plays. The one time they got us on a double move, Renardo did a hell of a job of recovering it. And getting the ball out without getting a PI.
Living with opioid addiction can be a struggle. Trapped in a cycle of opioid use, withdrawal, and
All right, so that was Kyle Shanahan recapping from the yesterday on the podcast. Niners were winners by a score of 23-20. So we'll take a look at how they look at the final totals. And before we do that, the 49ers also today signed Nick McLeod to the practice squad, and they've released a safety, Nick McLeod, to the team's practice squad to make room. They've released safety Adrian Amos. McLeod is a 6'1", 193 pound. Originally, he signed with the Buffalo Bills as an undrafted free agent back in 3 years ago, he played for the Bengals and the Giants. 74 tackles, 10 passes defense, forced 3 fumbles, 3 fumble recoveries, 1 interception. McLeod also appeared in 2 postseason contests where he totaled 2 tackles, 1 forced fumble, 1 on special teams in 2024. So the 26-year-old is from Rock Hill, South Carolina. He attended North Carolina State University and the University of Notre Dame in 2020. He appeared in 49 games, registered 139 tackles, 28 passes to defense, and 4 interceptions, and 3 fumble recoveries. So that's what the Niners part of the news today. So we continue on Niners Radio 49. We are going to take a look of take a recap of the final numbers of Sunday's game. The Niners win at 23-20. As taking a look of the That's the final numbers of the game. The Niners 413 total yards of offense to the Buccaneers 215. And they had 31 minutes and 48 seconds of time possession to the Buccaneers 28 minutes and 12 seconds. As Brock Purdy threw for 353 yards, 353 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. Christian McCaffrey, 13 carries for 39 yards. And then Juan Jing, 7 catches for 93 yards. And then it was Jake Moody hitting his game-winning field goal as time expired. So the Niners with the win goes to Rams in sole possession of second place in the NFC West. They still trail the Cardinals by 1 game, who they beat the Jets yesterday as they're top of the division. The Seahawks in the basement in the NFC West. They were enjoying Niners traveling up north to Cleveland to take on the Cleveland Browns. We'll show you that. We'll have that segment coming up on our Niners Radio Flashback. And yeah, the defense, I mean, 3 times they got penalized. They got penalized 3 times late in the fourth quarter. But when you're playing, not to make excuses, when you're playing in that humidity over there in central West Florida and Tampa, the weather, the Niners have had problems playing in heat conditions like that. So, but the special teams, it should have never even come down to that, Jay. The special teams, that muff, shank, fumble, punt after the Niners defense gave them a 3-and-out, and then that gave the Buccaneers an additional extra possession, and they scored points off that special teams muff by the special teams of the Niners. So that's what happened, and then so that's what happened to that defense. So and the defense was out there long, but the Niners came out there with a win, and that's what matters. A W is a W. So for all of you watching online, we're going to take a quick timeout, and then when we come back, we will go in our Niners Radio 49 flashback segment. So let's take this quick time out. Professor B, you're watching 49ers Live Monday edition, Monday night, the aftermath. Victory Monday, to be exact. Professor B on Niners Radio 49. We'll be right back. Oh, yeah, back. My bad. We continue on Niners Radio 49. This time, we're going to take a look back in time, back to the year of 1984. 49ers taking on the Cleveland Browns. This is week number 11. The Niners taking on the Cleveland Browns. And before we go any further on this segment, we're going to show you for the previous week, recap for the previous week, how the Niners get coming in there. The Niners come in with a 10-1 record versus a struggling Cleveland Browns team who's been struggling all year. The Browns coming into this game, the 49ers, or I should say that they the Browns coming into this game are 2-8, and the Niners are 9-1. So two teams heading in opposite directions. Of course, the Browns recently had fired Sam Rutigliano, who had been there for the past, I believe, 6 years or so. So then they move up Marty Schottenheimer, the assistant, as the interim head coach, and eventually he ended up getting it the full time. So Marty Schottenheimer taking over for the Browns, and they're playing at Cleveland's Municipal Stadium. And this is a game the Niners, back on the roll. They, the last two games have won. They were able to the previous week. Taking a look of the previous week, they had to come from behind to beat the Cincinnati Bengals at Candlestick Park. The Cincinnati Bengals from down 23-17, and they had to do it comeback style. And just a recap of that game: Joe Montana threw for 301 yards. He threw 2 touchdown passes, but he threw a career-high 4 interceptions. Wendell Tyler rushed for 52 yards. Dwight Clark led the way for the Niners receiving, 7 catches for 124 yards. And so the Niners came in that game, was 10.5 points favored, and they were able to come back and win that game. So now we will go to week number... We'll take it back to week 11. The Niners coming in with a 9-1 record against a struggling Cleveland Browns team that is 2-8. So we're going to show you this highlight right now from 1984, Niners and Cleveland Browns. This is a highlight, and we're going to get ready to show you that highlight right now.
Last Sunday, as Joe Montana and the San Francisco 49ers took to the field in Cleveland, they had their hands full just staying warm enough to take on the Browns. Against Paul McDonald, though, the frigid 49er defenders treated the ball as if it was too hot to handle. But it was the Browns who didn't thaw out until late in the fourth quarter when they earned their only touchdown of the game. While volleyball might be Cleveland's game, football was what San Francisco came to play, and they served up some potent offensive strikes, including Roger Craig's 20-yard touchdown. Running backs keyed San Francisco's attack not only in scoring points, but in setting up scores as well, as Bill Ring, number 30, illustrated with his perfect read of a safety blitz. Freddie Salomon, number 88, hauled in the short and the long of it from Joe Montana, who fired 2 scoring passes against the stubborn Browns defense, which had given up only 1 touchdown in the previous 3 games. Salomon and the Niners proved they certainly didn't have cold feet against the Browns as they piled up 450-plus yards for the 4th straight game in the 41-7 win.
All right, that was that footage was from week number the 10th week of the season, or I believe it was the Niners. That was the 11th week of the season. The Niners going to win that game by a score of at a rout 41-7 over a struggling Cleveland Browns team. We're gonna show you in this segment. We're gonna from that 1984 regular season, we will show you the highlights of the actual game footage, or the stats and everything. Just give me 1 second. So the 49ers continuing on, they have now won. The Niners have now won three. I believe they have now since that loss to the Steelers. They have now won 4 in a row, and they've won 10 of their first 11. Their last 4 in a row since that 20-17 defeat to the Steelers back in Week 7, 3 weeks prior. So Niners taking care of business. They now are 10-1, and now we're going to go on our flashback segment from Week 11, 1984, NFL scoreboard from the year 1984. I get some good comments right here. Don't forget Steve Sable as well, Pop J. Steve Sable and Ed the Sable, and the late Harry Callis, a longtime narrator for the NFL films. Plus, people forget Harry Callis was the longtime voice of the Philadelphia Phillies. He's another legend that he will be missed. But that was back in those days when I agree. So, and the film is courtesy by the NFL Films though too. So you gotta give him a lot of credit. So we're gonna go to week number 11 of the scoreboard around. And so with some other scores around week number 11, we're going to get you to All right, we apologize once again for the technical difficulties. Sorry about that. Professor B here. We're on Niners Radio 49. So as I was saying, Niners taking care of business as they continue to roll 41-7. They now go to 10-1 with the best record in the NFC. They're tied for second second best record in all of football. They're tied with the Denver Broncos for the second best record. Only the Miami Dolphins up to this point through the first 11 games still undefeated. And we continue on Niners Radio 49. 49ers Live tonight, the aftermath, victory Monday. Niners winning over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers yesterday at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa as they go to 4-5. As so yeah. So yep, so we apologize for the inconvenience, but we got some things coming up. So the 49ers continue with their winning ways. Niners continuing with their winning ways. They're now 10-1, best record in the NFC, tied for the second best record in football with the Denver Broncos. Only the Miami Dolphins up to this point is the last unranked or unbeaten team. So the Niners keep on rolling. Now next week, next Monday, when we do our next 40th anniversary flashback of the Niners' 1984 Super Bowl winning season, we'll take you to week number 12 when the 49ers taking on as they return home to take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and their former 49er quarterback Steve Berg. John McKay is their head coach. We'll take a look back of week number 12 as the Niners gearing for the stretch drive towards really positioning themselves for first and position themselves not only to move one game closer towards winning the NFC West, but to really position themselves for the top spot in the NFC. As the Niners will recap them next week when they take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Niners return home at Candlestick Park. And then coming up tomorrow on our next 49er podcast, when we do 49ers Live on Niners Radio 49, I believe tomorrow, we'll take a look back of week number, it'll be '89 regular season. The 49ers, of course, celebrating their 35-year anniversary of that '89 Niners team winning back-to-back Super Bowls. We'll take a look back at that 1989 seat game, and I believe it's going to be in the Niners coming into that game. They were they come in with an 8-1 record. They'll take on the struggling Atlanta Falcons, which featured rookie sensation Deion Sanders, known as Primetime, who would later join the 49ers 5 years later to help the Niners win their fifth Super Bowl. We'll show you the highlights of that tomorrow. We'll give you the Niners news, and then we'll recap you that game, Niners and Falcons, from week number 10 at Candlestick Park. The Niners were in a stretch where they're playing the second of 4 consecutive games at home, and a stretch where of 6 of their last 8 games will be at home. So the Niners, of course, the defending Super Bowl champs, as they're starting to make their second half push towards the top spot in the NFC West and trying to get that home field advantage to run through candlestick throughout the entire playoffs. So we'll recap you the Niners and Falcons from week number 10 tomorrow on 49ers Live. Then on Wednesday, we're going to have a great treat on Wednesday. We're going to recap and our 30-year anniversary of the 49ers' last Super Bowl win. Well, 30 years ago was not that long ago when they taking on the Dallas Cowboys in week number 10. And that was the game of the year. We'll go and dive into that game, take a look back, and then we'll start getting ready to preview the 49ers and Seahawks as well. We'll give you latest updates and so much more coming up on Niners Radio 49. And before we wrap it up for tonight, we are going to So before we wrap it up for tonight, just a reminder, the 49ers coming up. There's going to be a good event coming up tomorrow, or for Niner fans, if you're in the area. As we look here on, I'm going to pull it up to you. Brock Purdy will be at the Lucky Supermarket Store, Recovery Sports Hydration 180. Snap a photo with Brock Purdy Tuesday, November 12th from 12 noon to 1 p.m. The first 100 fans will receive a free Brock Purdy poster. And this is going to be at the Lucky Store located at 565 West Capitol Expressway in San Jose. That's the Lucky Store at 565 West Capitol Expressway in San Jose. And there'll be photos only for the first come, first served basis. Signatures, I repeat, signatures will not be permitted. So go down and get your Brock Purdy poster down there at the Lucky's down in what's going to be at the store tomorrow from 12 noon to 1 p.m. in Pacific Standard Time in the Bay Area at the Lucky Store at 565 West Capitol Expressway in San Jose. And again, photos only, first come, first serve, signatures will not be permitted. So that's going to do it for tonight for 49ers Live tonight on Niners Radio 49. I would like to thank all of you for watching tonight. I know this was a great enjoying another podcast tonight. Hope all you enjoyed it, and hope you enjoyed the podcast tonight. Niners coming off with a win, and they'll be back. They'll have their off day tomorrow. Then they're right back at it on Wednesday as they're getting ready to take on the Seattle Seahawks. Niners try to extend their winning streak over the Seahawks to 7 consecutive games, including the postseason. So we're getting ready to wrap it up for tonight. Thank you for watching us. For the latest news on 49ers news and so much more, go to 49ers.com. And then check us out on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@NinersRadio49. That's youtube.com/@NinersRadio49. Please don't forget to click the subscribe button. Our mission is trying to get 1,000 subscribers. And then, reminder, Sunday, 49ers back at home, taking on the Seattle Seahawks. 1:05 is the kickoff. That will be a 1:05 p.m. kickoff. And then after that, and then we'll be back over there at the 49ers Faithful at the Gold Bar Whiskey out at Santa Clara for another edition of 49ers Tailgate. Yours truly and Antonio Orvallo, the cast of thousands, will be there. And then we'll have our 49ers post-game show, 49ers post-game live at the Hyatt Regency Hotel, just right across the street from Levi Stadium in Santa Clara, immediately following the 49ers Seahawks game. That's it for now. Professor B checking out, signing off, and so long. Thank you for watching 49ers Live tonight. The aftermath Victory Monday on 49ers Live on Niners Radio 49. 49ers Live tonight. The Aftermath is a special presentation of Niners Radio 49 in association with Satellite Digital Media News Network, where every team has a fan and every fan has a voice. The network home of champions. I'd like to wish all of you a very pleasant good evening. Good night, everybody. Take care.